grounds to believe, on the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of the State of Palestine from at least the 8th of October 2023. The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, serious injury to body or health or cruel treatment, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination and or murder, persecution, and allegations of crimes of committing other inhumane acts. It's alleged that these crimes were committed in the context of the ongoing armed conflict and as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the civilian population of Gaza, pursuant to a state policy. My office charges Netanyahu and Gallant as co-perpetrators and as superiors in the commission of these alleged crimes. Israel, like all states, has the right to defend its population. It has every right to ensure the return of hostages that have been criminally and callously taken. Those rights, however, do not absolve Israel of its obligations to comply with international humanitarian law.
Your original answers, I forgot my question, but these will be brief. So are you okay then with the application for arrest warrants against Hamas?
We do not believe that they have jurisdiction over either of the parties of this conflict, and that includes Hamas.
You don't think that Hamas leaders should be prosecuted?
We absolutely believe that Hamas should be held accountable. That could be. Hold on. Let me finish. That could be either through the prosecution of the war effort by Israel. It could be.
In other words,
hold on.
Killed.
It could be by being killed. It could be by being brought to justice in an Israeli court. We do not believe the ICC has jurisdiction over either of the parties in this case because the Palestinian people do not represent a state.
Okay.
That includes with the leaders of Hamas.
But obviously the administration is also troubled by actions that Israel has taken post-October 7th. So where is the accountability for that? Where do the Palestinians go? This is a question I asked Ned, a long time ago, over and over and over again. Where do the Palestinians go to seek redress?
So let me answer this a couple of different ways. First of all, in the short term, with respect to questions of war crimes, Israel does have open investigations, a number of open investigations. We made this public when we released our report on National Security Memo 20, including some investigations that have become criminal investigations into conduct by members of the IDF. That is the first instance for judging whether someone has committed a war crime or a violation of IDF code of conduct. That's one of the reasons why we have concerns about the ICC. The ICC is set up to be a court of last resort. If a country isn't properly holding itself and its personnel accountable, that's when the ICC comes in, not in the middle of the process as they have done here. That said, ultimately, and you know this, Matt, because we've spoken about it a lot, we believe that there should be the establishment of an independent Palestinian state. And an independent Palestinian state would have the ability to join the Rome Statute and become a member of the International Criminal Court, as every state in the world has the right to do. But that is not
So where do they go in the meantime?
They are not SOL. I said, first of all, Israel has its own investigations. Second, we have accountability mechanisms here. We have processes that are ongoing to look at Israel's compliance with international humanitarian law. So there are places to look at these questions. It's just, in our view, fundamentally not a role of the ICC. And I should say, but remember, we have a jurisdictional complaint here, in that we don't believe the ICC has jurisdiction. But if you looked at the statement the Secretary made that I echoed in my opening remarks, that isn't our only problem with the action the prosecutor has taken. We also have a problem that he has short-circuited an investigation and brought this action without waiting to see where these Israeli investigations end up, without completing the trip that he had planned to come to Israel to look into these questions. So it's not just a question of jurisdiction, it's also a question of the way the investigation has been conducted.
So let's just focus on jurisdiction for a second. Who does have jurisdiction here?
So the government of Israel has jurisdiction.
over the occupied territory.
We have jurisdiction.
Over Gaza, which is not entirely
they have
occupied.
jurisdiction into looking at the actions
Okay,
by their
so
military
the
personnel.
Palestinians, if they have a complaint, they have to bring it to Israeli courts.
We have jurisdiction, and we
You have
with the
jurisdiction?
use of our equipment.
I'm sorry.
With the,
How do you have
with the
jurisdiction?
use of our military equipment
Matt,
that we have provided?
How do you have jurisdiction?
If you look at the Leahy law, if you look at
That's not jurisdiction in a criminal process. That's
not in the
jurisdiction
criminal
over-
process, but it has to do with the determinations that we make and the policies that flow
but
from
that's
it.
not
But Matt, long term, you were right that we
You
want to see.
used to work for DOJ, Matt.
You were
Come on. There's no U.S. does not have jurisdiction.
There are different. I wasn't referring to criminal jurisdiction, Matt. There are different ways to look at this. Long term, we agree with you that the Palestinian people should be a state that has and have the ability to make these determinations. But that's not where we are today. That's where we're trying to get to.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Karkadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and a few sisters out there, unto the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Lord one is being edifying, shown through the Spirit of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua. As you can clearly see, the ICC, International Court. Oh, I forgot that. Let me look it up actually, since I'm doing this. There's something that he said in that particular, well, it's a lot of things he said. So Lord wanted I put the right thing in there, but it was something else. So ICC. This is the International, wow, I just said it. International Criminal Court. So, the International Criminal Court, I believe, is, well, we already hear what they're charging Netanyahu, all right, in that particular land. They're charging him criminal cases of the G word, which the U.S. media would not touch at all. Because of the simple fact is, CNN, Fox, all these major corporations run by certain people who has the greatest intentions to keep certain things, real in favor of some group of people. Can't say much because YouTube, the platform as well, says pretty much the same thing. All right, once you talk about a certain group of people, things happen. The saying is, if you want to know who has power, when you can't say nothing about them, that's who runs everything. So these people decide to go against Netanyahu, which we all know who runs this world. Matter of fact, let me get there real quick. Let me hit a couple scriptures, and then we know who runs this world. And by them running this world, certain things they themselves break, of course, because they're the wicked. Job 9:24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the $1 million question, who is this wicked? Right? And it gives you a clue who covered the faces of the judges thereof. Now, if you look into that, you have to look into iconoclasm, which is taking ancient depictions and destroying it to make it look like somebody else. So it gives you a clue. The Lord's not doing this. It's not a great mystery. It's right in front of the people's face. Now, why would I bring this up with this particular show? Well, let me go into this too. Micah 2:1. So we know the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Verse, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. Now, that is speaking of passing certain laws. When morning is light, they make laws to make things harder for people. All right? It says they covered fields, which is stealing lands, take them by violence, who have stolen everything by violence, who have taken land masses, identity. All right? I can never forget that video. You had a small hat taking some Palestinian woman's land. She's like, you stole my land. You stole. She said something. You stealing my land or something like that. And he said, if I don't do it, somebody else is gonna do it. So like to justify themselves is basically saying, by me taking it, it's better if I'm taking it than somebody else taking it. So the mindset of these people are just sick, right? And it says they take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And we know from the history, the small history of this land called America, how it was funded, how it was taken. It was not taken by voting. All right, it was taken by force. The force of the sword. All right, genocide, murder of the natives. And these people, there's a certain type of blueprint that they do, and they do it consistently. So now, let's go back to this, what I was talking about. So now the ICC decides to go after Netanyahu. Now we know Esau, Edom. In fact, let me get that real quick. 2nd Ezra 6 and 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that proves that Esau is in power. He is the wicked of the world. So who is Esau? The so-called white man. All right. The so-called white man is Esau. For all you newcomers, you say, why are these guys always talking about the same thing? Well, because the same thing is right in front of your face. And that same thing that's right in front of your face is showing you consistently. This is a tale that the Lord want everybody to know. All right. Paul called it a mystery. All right. The mystery that was going to be revealed in his time. So Esau runs this world. Now, why would Esau go after Netanyahu? Because Netanyahu's not doing what he's supposed to do. All right. Now there was other news sources prior to this arrest that they're seeking that was stating the atmosphere that was going on in the land of Israel. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I'm trying to make this quick and it's decisive. The scripture is Isaiah 26 and 10. It says, Let favor be shown unto the wicked. All right. Now, what's that favor? It's going to explain it. Yet will he not learn righteousness in the land of uprightness. Now who? But what's the land of uprightness? The land of Israel. Who dwells in the land of Israel today? Esau. All right. Which it tells you real quick. Let me get this. I'll come back to this real quick. Ezekiel 36 and about 5. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, surely in the fire of my jealousy I have spoken against the residue of the heathen, against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with all joy of heart, of all their heart, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. What is Idumea? Well, I don't even have to go and look it up. It tells you right there, NLT. It says, this is what the sovereign Lord says. My jealousy, anger burns against these nations, especially Edom. So Idumea is Edom. So the people that dwell in the land of Israel today is Edom, the Edomites, because they have shown utter contempt for me. It means that they hate the Lord. Right? They do what displeases the Lord by gleeful taking my land for themselves as plunder. So, I mean, if you can't get around that, that's the NLT. That just explained that. You know what? Let's see what the NLT says about Isaiah 26 and 10. It says, Isaiah 26 and 10, I'm going to go to the NLT. Your kindness to the wicked does not make them do good. Although others do right, the wicked keep doing wrong and take no notice of the Lord's majesty. That's close but no cigar. So the KJV version says that favor be showed to the wicked. All right, they have the land. Matter of fact, they have the land. They have the Torah. They took the history, yet will they not learn righteousness, because they're not upright people. All right. In the land of uprightness, which is the land of Israel, will he deal unjustly, and will not hold the majesty of the Lord. Now, I was watching Redacted, and it was basically saying the U.S., Canada, mainly the U.S., telling U.S. citizens of that monstrosity alphabet community that to be careful out there, because there's a lot of people that wants to hurt them. And as I was listening to the madness that they were saying, and people kept saying it, well, the largest gay parade in the world is in Tel Aviv. Now, Tel Aviv is where? In the land of Israel. Now, in the land of Israel, which is supposed to be the land of the Lord, the Most High does not condone activities like that. So it shows you that these people are not the people. They're the wicked that the Bible speaks of, because they took something that the Lord said not to do, right? And they esteemed it, like the scripture says, they do it with a high contempt against the Most High. So they esteemed it to the worst possible way, most wickedest way, and show in front of the eyes of the world. So Yahoo now, he's having problems at home, so to speak, because the party that he represents and is backing, they losing faith in him, and also the opposition. I did a show on this a while back. I forgot what it calls it. Something to the extent, how can it be the Lord's people on the land? Something to the extent of, they're in the land and they talking about civil war within the land. And the only thing that's keeping this guy going is that these constant war tactics. It's like your man Zelensky, who I was watching Redacting today, was basically saying that he's a dictator now. All right, he passed martial law, and he suspended all democratic votes, which is because he's considering it wartime. So the prime minister of Israel is trying to do the same stunt. But there's a lot of infighting within the land because he's not doing what they want him to do. They want him to expedite this thing that's going on. Don't get it twisted. They're not trying to do things in his favor because he's doing the wrong thing. They doing these things because of the simple fact is they want to expedite this thing. So he's not a victim, but he's a person that's not fitting the bill. So they want to get rid of him. So as I was watching this,
Say he was.
Look,
and this reporter right here is asking some good questions. All right, you don't see that in a lot of times. You see a lot of snowball questions when it comes to this, and he's basically saying, so who has jurisdiction for the Palestinians? And they said, well, they got to go to Israel. And he said, wait a minute, how are they going to go to the place who's trying to get rid of them to say that, oh, there's war crimes going? That don't make no sense. All right, show you that America is nothing but a goddamn puppet, and a lot of things that they say don't make no sense. But something that he said right here, when it's talking about the Iranian president, what just happened, and if it's possible, if America is responsible or Israel, expect things to get highly volatile. So I'm gonna let this guy listen to what he said.
Why? I mean,
because we regret any loss of life. We don't want to see people die in helicopter crashes. It doesn't change our view of him, our view of the regime.
There
But
is
I'll
not
say,
one
but
person that you can think of
there
that
are
the United States didn't want to see in an air accident.
there were people on board.
And that shows you how much of a hypocrite, because what he's saying is absolutely right. Even how they post things on YouTube, and you should have read the comments. They was like good riddance and all this other shit. And I always bring up the story when I was in the military after 9/11. We was heading to the Middle East, and somebody I was working with, Edomite, basically saying out of his own devilish mouth that they should nuke the whole place. And I was like, damn, you think that'd be a good thing? He's like, yeah, fuck them. This is what they did to us. So when you think about 3,000 people, 3,000 souls of American souls that got killed that day, compared to the tens of millions of people that died, it doesn't equate in the mind of these Edomites, because they're bloodthirsty. All right, and this is what this guy is gonna say. He asked some good, tough ball questions, man. This is a rarity. But let it play.
That aircraft who have families, we thought that's an appropriate step to take. It's the step that the United States government has taken when any number of foreign leaders with whom we had vehement disagreements have died. But we also made clear in that statement that we continue to support the Iranian people in their fundamental struggle for freedom.
Really, well, I would just point out to you that when one of the former presidents of Cuba died, this would be Fidel Castro, one of your predecessors, did not offer any condolences. And basically said good riddance.
So I will.
And if you really think that Raisi was as bad as what you have laid out at the beginning, I'm just a little bit curious as to why you would put a statement out, no matter how short it is, but with the line official condolences in it. I don't get it.
As long as we're addressing,
because they're trying to save face. So he's asking some tough, beautiful questions, man. And these hypocrites, these devils, they gonna always back up their caretakers. That little land, whatever they do, this whore is gonna back that place up to their own demise. Okay, to their own demise, and it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. So going back to Netanyahu, is he gonna get arrested? Most likely not, unless the elites they're done with him. He didn't perform the duty that he's supposed to do. All right. The U.S. Wants to do is bring all the Palestinians. This is the most retarded place in the world. All the Palestinians from that war-torn country, all right, that has relatives here, to bring them over here. Flood this place with the people that have been most traumatized of them all. Right? To tear this place apart. And they want to take that land. Proving that they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. Alright? They go around stealing things that doesn't belong to them. And whatever reason they have in their warped mind, because what's going on is the Lord is having these angels work on their mind to do these decisions. Okay? Which is going to lead them to a world of hurting. So this International Criminal Committee, it's the same face. But the funny thing about it was that the U.S. Congress or Senate was basically saying, do not go after Netanyahu. So what's so important with a prime minister who might have had what? This is, I think, his third term, and failed his people, and even according to their lies, attack to the extent of 9/11. Why would the U.S. back him up? And how many times the U.S. told him not to do certain things and he did it anyway? Okay? Because now you're seeing who the true masters are. There's levels even amongst these devils. All right, real quick. Psalm 73 and... I saw the 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. So yeah, they bringing up these criminal charges, but that ain't gonna mean shit. Hey, look, even Trump, they bringing up bullshit criminal charges, which we all know he's gonna get out of it because the shit don't make no sense. It's a theater. Politics is nothing but theater. All right, is the intrigue of, is it a possibility that he's gonna be getting locked up? Is it a possibility that the U.S. judicial system, for the naysayers, for the Trumpers, for the MAGA individuals, that it works because they so against one party? It is all theater. Matter of fact, before I read this again, let me get this real quick. And then all you people out there believe this bull, you're going to realize this is all theater. It says, Revelation 13 and 11. Hold on. Revelation 13 and 11. It says, I beheld another beast coming out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So John saw a beast with 2 horns, and as a lamb, because lamb is what? A peaceful creature. All right, and it's just 2 horns represent the 2 political parties of this particular land. Now, this is the same 2 political parties that was in the Roman Empire, resurrected, the plebeian and the patricians. One represent for the rich and the others for the people. And these are the same 2 political parties of today. Now they'll have you believe that these 2 political parties can't stand each other, that they want to do each other dirty, they want to harm one another to the extent, and like how they did in I don't know the depths of the history of Jamaica, but I remember watching the documentary, and it was intriguing how they was breaking it down, how in the 1980s, how most of the Jamaicans that came to New York was wilding out because that's what they was doing in Jamaica. Two political parties that had their underlings literally fight one another to death, while the two people that's on top, nothing happened to them. They was highly protected. All right. So we have get to that extent here in the United States, where people are taking things too far, so to speak. And by taking things too far, you just in empowering this system. All right. Yet there are two different political parties, but there's one head. So it's just theater. These things are just nothing but theater. All right. And they spake as a dragon, which dragon is what the draconian laws that's about to pass. Okay. They just itching to find a way to pass these unrighteous rules. So this is these are the things that they have people fully invested into, because they themselves, unlike their predecessors, the Roman Caesars, who literally was killing one another, okay, they just killing in a different type of form, killing their character. So this is their strength, all right, the theater that they perform, seeming like they're in trouble, but they're not. And it says, verse 5, back in Psalm 73 and 5, they are not in trouble like other men. This was the point. Neither are they plagued like other men. Now, they bring up criminal charges against people that commit the same crime. Harvey Weinstein that did far worse, or Jeffrey Epstein, yet who is the poster child of the pedophiles or the movement, saying, some even people saying certain people are worse than Jeffrey Epstein. Like, how is that fucking possible when a man has his own island? All right, because what? They're not in trouble like other men. So is Netanyahu's gonna go to jail? No, he's not. He probably just gonna be a slap in the wrist. It's all theater. All right, he's in fear, yeah, because he's not doing what he has to do for the higher elites. All right, I forgot. It was a video that was circulating of a certain rabbi that was telling him, you got to get things going. Like, this is years back, like maybe his second term, no, maybe his first term. He looked in younger, and he said, you got to get this thing going. You got to get this thing going. He said, yeah, we're working on it. And he hasn't fulfilled his thing. So just like everything else, they're basically saying, if you're not getting the job done, we're gonna remove you and replace you. Okay, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna get in hell of in trouble. That doesn't mean that. All that means is they're just gonna get a slap in the wrist, and that's it. They don't get in trouble like other men do. Things don't. These people are responsible for fucking millions of lives. War crimes upon war crimes. And they get away with it shit scot-free. They said what, like the Clintons, Hillary Clinton's, her email leaked and everything like that, and they was supposed to damn the entire them. And what did Trump said? We gotta drain the swamp. We're gonna drain the swamp. He ain't draining shit, because he's part of the system. All right? Because they're not in trouble like other men. Let that be anybody else. Holy shit. You be called the worst criminal in centuries. All right? It says, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compassed them about as a chain. And that's why they proudful. Netanyahu knows what he's doing. All right? That's why he brought up the story of Deuteronomy 25th chapter, about 19 verse on down, about the Palestinians. And nobody questioned it. nobody said, yo, he's talking about a massacre. All right? Because the simple fact is, it doesn't mean nothing. Nobody's going to question that. All right? It says violence covered them like as a chain. Now the Hebrew word for violence is Hamas. It's Hamas. So that's a Hebrew word, which means violence, wrong, cruelty, injustice. And that bootleg state of Israel are responsible of the creation of Hamas, which they say that them in the CIA, them in the U.S. So now that's the big bad over there. All right. All of a sudden, that's the big bad, right? So it says violence covering them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. And when you go back into that map of when they first got into that land and how much real estate that they have, that they even pushing them. Oh, I'm not gonna get that part, but even in the same interview, he was basically stating, it's like they keep pushing them into this circle. Oh no, somebody was redacted, and they want to make a harbor over there to get those people out of there. All right. So this is why that the Middle East is in an uproar. Like, what the hell? And the U.S. is doing it, following them blindly by doing this, which is creating more and more enemies. So all this justification, how you have an international criminal court and the U.S. saying we don't recognize anything. He was basically saying he come up with a million one excuses. Well, they had the opportunity to go to Israel and talk to them. I don't know why they did it like that. Because they know if they go in there that everything's going to be swayed differently. And it's all theater as well. All right? All of it. Because they're not going to bring in no real criminal charges against anybody. It's all theater. And there's a point. It says, they are corrupt and they speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They are corrupt. This is all corruption. It's just nothing but a corrupt show, man. And that's what this whole theater is about. Okay? It's all corruption. This is why the Lord is going to destroy these people. All right? And everyone that follows that trend. And this is what the scripture says. Psalms 11:5, I believe. It says, the Lord... I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, this is it. Psalms 11:5. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. So the Lord hates people that love violence and doing violence, commit mass murder. The scripture says what? Revelation 6:4. Matter of fact, about that red horse. All right. The Lord is coming for you, man. You got them eating, especially you Amalekites. The Lord got something special for you. And that's scriptural. Revelation 6:4 says, and they went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. So if peace is removed, what do you have left? War, death, destruction. And that they should kill one another. This is why you have an arms race of certain people that gives and the funny thing about it, there was a movie called The House of the Rothschilds, was basically showing you how they took sides when it came to Napoleon, all right, and they give him the proper weapons and everything like that, so he could lose his battle. So it's all a chess game. All right. It's all theater. It's all smoke. But these are the war people. These are the people that causing all the death and destruction on the planet Earth. And it says they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. That great sword is the technology of the ICBM nuclear missiles. All right. So from that major sword to modern day sword, they have been gifted. All right. Because the Lord said, it's written in Genesis 27 chapter, around 38 verse on down, that Esau was blessed by the sword. All right. So if Esau is blessed by the sword, and he runs this world, what do you think he's going to do? Is he going to be a man of justice? He's going to be a man that cares about the welfare of the people? Or he's going to do what he does, what he's doing with his blessing? And that's what we're seeing. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. So the Lord is going to destroy them. All right. And it says in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, that if the children of Israel was going to be in the land, that the nations would not know war anymore. So why are the nations knowing war? Why is it there's an international criminal court? Enough said. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nations, and shalom.